I am so excited to start the Launch Everyday Challenge with you guys. We have 25 signups for this program who will produce 7 times 25 companies, products, ideas into prototypes for the next 7 years. It's days. It's a learn as we go experience. I am nervous because I have no idea how this is going to work out, and I'm excited, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm recording the session, so if you cannot make it to this session, no worries. There is an app where you can actually retrieve that recording and also click through the slides because they should help you building your apps, building your companies, building your product throughout the next 7 days. Launching every day is two things. One, it's taking advantage of technology that makes things possible that were not possible not too long ago. But it's also a mindset. It's also a way of understanding that we can see things differently from now on, and we have technology that supports us, and we have community that supports us. We have 25 people in that challenge that support you, and more we see this growing every day. I recently had a conversation with someone, and that inspired me that there is a challenge in Silicon Valley, and it's launch a company for 30 days every day. And I thought, okay, that's where we're going. There's so much to tinker around and play around, and some of these will be relevant, but all of those, just like you in the next 7 days, will have learned so much more than everyone else. And what do I mean with mindset? It's basically saying no to a few things and it's saying yes to a few things. Uh, you cannot think in perfectionism if I ask you to launch a product every day, but you can absolutely say yes to curiosity because you will try to understand and figure out what is it that I can actually do. You don't have anyone who will give you a thumbs up. Whatever you will ask me, I will always say go for it. So you basically can already start that challenge with the Nikki answer at mind. When you ask a question, what would Nikki say? Nikki will probably say go for it. And Nikki also says go for it for asking very bold questions and going all in with massively big and crazy ideas. And it's not a safe play because it might not work, right? You might launch a product today and it will not work. And then you launch a product tomorrow and it will not work. And in 3 days it will not work. And you might launch 4 products and they won't work, but the fifth one will work. And you will have learned so much. You will have created energy. You will have experienced so much. So it's way beyond asking yourself, is it good enough? It's all about what did I see working and how can I take what I've just learned working into a next level of making even bigger things working. So why are we doing this? First of all, I think it's a fun experience and AI is giving us so incredible tools that we have to think around and play around with. And that's a very good reason to already start this. Also, a good reason to start this is building creative confidence. Like if I ask you today, think big, you might have a wall in front of you. Like, what does thinking big even mean? What is I can do anything even mean? I don't even know what that means, and I don't have the confidence. Why me? I'm just little Nikki. How can I do something that's relevant for out there in the world? That's reserved for other people, and that's wrong. And I want to abandon that. I want to throw away that thought from now on. Yeah, I think things are becoming clear, right? We don't overthink, we ship, we send things out there. And what that also means, that could also be that you figure out what you can actually be doing next, right? If some of you might be in jobs, some of you might be at university or at school, and all of you, no matter if you're 25 years in corporate life, if you're in the gig economy, or if you're about to graduate from school, all of you have one thing in common, and that's the question, what am I doing next? And if you want to use the WhatsApp group or if you want to use the chat and you ask people, what are you doing next? Or are you also asking yourself, what are you doing next? Probably everyone will agree. It's a common denominator of a big question. And I think there is no better way to explore what you're doing next by trying out one possible answer every single day. How's that sound? Does it sound like fun or does it sound like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? I really hope that's. Oh, my mic is off. That was old story. You can hear me well, right? I'm not talking to myself for 5 minutes now.
We hear you well, thank you.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Another reason why we're doing this is because a lot of people are talking about AI because they heard something from somewhere, or they read something on LinkedIn and they retweeted, and they basically carry around secondhand smoke. And I want you to create your own experience. I want you to embark this journey to figure out on yourself and make your hands dirty. What does it mean? And talk about AI and the applications, implications of all of this from your own experience, not from someone else's experience. And it actually can become a new habit. Maybe not every day, maybe every week or every other week. Although I think every day is a good idea. Since I've been starting to work with this, I've launched probably one thing every week. Every day would be bragging and not true, but one thing every week gets really close to the truth. And some of those I'm using for myself, some of those I'm experimenting with community, some of those I've been using for my businesses, and some of this, what's happening right now, actually all of what's happening right now, was built with the exact same tools that I'm going to introduce you today and you will work with for the next 7 days. Does it make fun? So, does it make sense so far? Please, I'm trying to look into the chat. I'm not seeing the WhatsApp at the moment, but I can also change this because I really want you guys to be as interactive as possible with me. This is not a lecture. This is an experience. We're in this together. We're on a crazy ship and it's bouncing and shaking and the wind and the waves and the currents are doing weird things and we're navigating this ship together. So if I'm messing up with anything, stop me and tell me it doesn't make sense. You're too fast. I don't know what you're talking about and whatnot. As I said before, not a Nikki that I've been doing 900 exits and 1,000 companies. I've been starting to do this a few months ago, but I always thought when I'm into something and I start sharing with others what I'm learning even more. So I'm doing this for you, but I'm also really doing this for myself because I know that in the next 7 weeks, days, I will learn more than in the last 7 months probably. So what should we do? Why are we doing this? What should we do? Well, we should let's call it play with purpose. It should be fun. Ideally, it's useful or helpful, or at least educating. And there's whatever you do, it will be one of those. It will be super hilarious. We will joke and we will have fun about it. We will actually create something that we can use or create something that helps our work. Or none of this happens, but then we've learned something. So all of these four are going to happen in the next 7 days. And you already have a superpower because you're here and you started this. And your superpower is whatever you think of 1 hour later, you will know how it looks or feels like. And just imagine this, whatever idea you have, whatever you think of, after this program, an hour later, you will know if it works, might work differently, or does not work at all. And I don't know how many times in your life this has been true in the past. And I think this is pretty epic. And that's why I'm doing this so enthusiastically. And I'm so excited that you guys are joining me here and we're doing this together. I'm organizing for 13 years now, I'm organizing Silicon Valley Inspiration Tours. That's why the obvious is that the winner of this challenge will come to my next tour in August. And one of the people that really inspired me was Hugo Giralt, the founder of a design thinking or product design and service design company called Propellant. And he already said 13 years ago, a prototype is worth more than 1,000 meetings. And that's what we're doing here. We're creating from thought to prototype in an instant. And that's what vibe coding basically is about. It is messy, it is fun, and you learn what you can do. I think that from 0 to 1 has never been easier than it is right now. And then when you have something that is working, and you might want to turn it into something that scales up, I don't think you should be working with vibe coding. That's when you can go to software engineers and deploy it at scale. But until then, this is an amazing tool. All right, so that was me in high speed in 10 minutes. Everything clear, and does this make sense so far? Are we on board? Are you committed? Are you excited? Are you going to tell me? Put in the chat, I'm going to launch 7 products in the next 7 days. I want to see this. Go to the chat and hit in the chat, I'm launching 7 products. I want to see that we're all in this together. Find your Zoom chat. Give me 7 products in 7 days. I'm going to launch 7 products. Exactly, that's what it's going to be about. You are a founder. You are actually someone who's building a company, 7 companies. Just imagine all these products could actually be a company. And you're building 7 of these in the next 7 days. So hit this in the check. I am launching 7 products in 7 days. Love to see this coming up. That's amazing. That's a beautiful energy. Let me show you how we're going to do this. Are you ready? Are you ready to see how we're doing this and how easy it is and how cool it's going to be? Shall we do it now? Or would you like to discuss a little longer if we should really do this or not? Oh, yes, Katrina, this is going to be wild. So what we're doing is we're using 4 tools, basically 3 tools primarily. And that's ChatGPT. I guess you've all been working with ChatGPT before, because you can basically take ChatGPT as your AI expert. And there's no other technology. You cannot ask the toaster, tell me how to toast a sandwich. You cannot even ask your email program, tell me how to write an email. But with AI, you can say, you are an expert, help me. And that's fantastic because every AI tool that you use, you can actually use AI to use it better. So we have ChatGPT as our companion who will help us how we're going to work with this. And then we have other tools that will actually deploy this. And I want to start with ChatGPT because I'm sure that you've been using this in the last, what is November 20, last 3 years, 2.5 years already. Prompting. People start searching on ChatGPT, they prompt whatever they do, they prompt, and that's great. But that's only one slice of actually what you can do. And that there is a difference between prompting, and that's basically write an email, and prompt engineering, and that's think in model. Because the GPTs, they think in model. Whatever you give them as a model and make them analyze it as a model will deliver better results. As I said before, you're an expert in AI, give me this information. Or here's an email that worked really well for me. And then you copy that email, analyze this email, use it as a model to write an email to a friend telling him I cannot come to dinner. And even if you try this, tell my friend I can't come to dinner, and then you change this with that version of tell my friend I can't come to dinner, you will have a better result. And the thinking in model basically is there is something that you know that works, and you want to apply that framework into your task. And that's thinking in model. And what you do to create this is something that you can start right away if you haven't started already, and that's a so-called data collection strategy. Because if I ask you, tell me 5 emails that worked for you in the past, you will probably start searching and not really find 5 emails that work for you. But if you have a data collection strategy, and the simplest form of a data collection strategy is open a Gmail account, and I have this nikkidatacollection@gmail.com. And whenever I find something useful, I just forward it to that email. Or whenever I write something where I feel like, okay, this is a good model of how I should write and want to write, I BCC that same email. And then I have my depository of frameworks, of models that I can just copy paste and use for every application that I want. So you might not necessarily need this data collection Gmail account for the next 7 days, but in general, I would really recommend starting this. It's free, it's simple, everyone knows how to set up a free email account. It doesn't have to be Gmail, whatever it is, or an alias of your, if you have your own domain, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What's important is that it's dedicated for data, for information, for flows that you see working and you want to use as a model. Does this make sense? Thinking in models. Is this new, and is this kind of something that you haven't thought about that way before? And please, I always have an eye on the chat and see if I'm saying something that's telling something that doesn't make sense for you, or if I'm speaking too fast because I'm so enthusiastic because I can't wait until we start building something. Data collection strategy is key. I work with a lot of organizations that are very successful, have thousands of employees, are making in the billions of revenues. They have big eyes if I tell them they should have a data collection strategy. It's not something that organizations are doing yet. You start doing this already, so you already have a competitive advantage towards many, many others. All right, let's go into what can we actually build. Because build something is very broad. And if I give you a structure, build something that might be a Slack bot or a Chrome extension or a web utility as a micro tool, already narrows it down. Or a mood tracker, a gratitude app. I've built a gratitude app. I thought it was really cool. I called it the PV, Personal Value Index, where you can enter every day if you've done something for yourself, if you've done something for others, if others supported you, if there's something that works really well for you, how you're doing financially, 8 parameters. And I'm giving a 0 to 10 score for all these parameters. Takes me 15 seconds. And I see my personal value like a stock index, like a stock curve, moving and changing every day. How am I actually doing for myself? How am I making sure that I'm doing better today than I did yesterday? And that doesn't mean that you always have to perform. It just means that you have to take care of yourself. And there is no day where you should not take care of yourself, because, just like in the flight where you put the mask on for yourself, you cannot take care of anyone if you don't take care of yourself in first place. Or curiosity prompts. Tell me a joke today. Whatever it is, super simple. Or content generator, one-liners, pitch fixers, jokebot. Or someone is commenting this on my LinkedIn. How can I answer? And I feel it very provocative. How can I answer in a self-confident way? And basically determine what your answer should always be, and then you just copy paste. Or give me something that I'd like to open a conversation with when I talk about the weather, or whatever, travel, whatever it is, content. Or decision aids. Should I buy this or not? Or in which order should I do something? And then you can discuss with the tool how to set up these things, and I will explain that to you very, very soon. We're moving on so quickly. I'm way too fast. Please tell me if I should be slower. I'm really excited about this. Social Sparks. So these categories are categories of products or tools or whatever you'd like to call it that you can build with the software that we're working on. Okay? So you can create meme creators, content creators, viral post drafts. You can break time reps, daily nudges, tiny habits. You can do fun, silly stuff like rewrite the email in pirate style, or teach me karaoke, or how can I write nice breakup messages. Or you can make a quiz where you want to ask your friends certain things to figure out what kind of profile types they are. If you have 4 different archetypes of people and you know parameters of them, you can create it. I used that same tool for a quiz where people asked 5 questions, and then I had a really neat output, and it had no branding of any of these companies that do this professionally, because it was the thing that I built for myself and just embedded it in my website. So, and many other things. I'm just trying to give you categories that it's not just wild meandering thoughts. Whatever you think of, you can figure out, and you will probably be able to code it with these tools, and it's called vibe coding. And basically what we have is an app development tool that we work with the most. Then we have a second tool where just the data is in, like, when people sign up, like here, you guys signed up. I don't want this in my code of the app. I want this separately. So if I mess up with the app, your information is still safe and stored and protected. And then you have a third tool where you can deploy. So basically the whole thing should be a website that you can either share as a link, it's usually a weird link, or embed in your website, which is what I did here. And then there are many additional tools. The tools that we use here are Bolt, Supabase, and Netlify. I shared this earlier. Please go back to the comment section and just let me know real quick if you have accounts, if you have set up an account in Bolt, in Supabase, and in Netlify, because this is something that you will have to do. Okay, so let me hit so it's bolt.new, netlify.com, and supabase.com. Whoops. Okay, and you can use GitHub for Supabase. I think for sure for Netlify you can use GitHub as a sign up access, but you have to create your account. Okay, so these things you create, and you can do this right now, or you can do this as we move on, because I really want you to build something today. We're not going home without having built something. This is how it should start. You should build something today, and you should upload your first thing onto the app today. And then we have several additional tools. I would focus on using ChatGPT as a development buddy, as I said before, working with Bolt and Supabase, and you don't have to think about Netlify because you just integrate it once and then it will just deploy your website. It's always a click. It's very simple. You don't have to change anything on Netlify unless you're really very, very geeky. And I tried it out. It's that's where it starts getting complex and complicated. And I was like, okay, this is not necessary. I can do it simple. I'm very lazy. I love simple things. I like to see something quick, fast, and then I make a decision if I move on or not. And if I have to spend, I don't know, a week on a button, I would probably catch a depression. So I'm that kind of person. I need progress, I need fast things, I need results. And that works really well with ChatGPT as a development buddy, as Bolt as a no-coder, and Supabase where you have all the data and all the tables inside. It's called Bolt. It's a, let me put it here. It's bolt.new. When you hit the chat, then you will see. I hope I didn't put a typo. It's a service. And the cool thing is you can basically use this for free with a limitation, because then you pay, usually they're $20 a month if you want to have higher bandwidth, if you have more token. But Bolt renews your, I think you get 3 million token every day for free. And with 3 million token, the way we're building is you can actually build a prototype already. I'm going to explain that to you. And thanks for also sharing the Bolt link to this. Okay. So how is it going? First of all, you have asked yourself, or you can brainstorm with a friend or with ChatGPT or whatever, what is it that you want to build? And then you go to ChatGPT and said, this is what I like to build. Which tools do I need? I will work with Bolt and Supabase. And then you will ask ChatGPT, because sometimes you might not need a database because it's just the app. Which tool shall we prompt first? Okay, usually when it's a database, you start preparing everything in Supabase. And now I have to be slower because it's complicated. Supabase is basically, as I said before, all the tables, all the information, registry, accounts, uploads, files, whatever, is all in Supabase. Everything that's content, okay, is in Supabase. So when you start in Supabase, that's perfect, because then you build the framework of your app already that Bolt, where you build next, can already access to. Because otherwise you build something in Bolt that needs a table and it goes into emptiness because the table hasn't been built yet. That's why I always start with Supabase. And I'm going to go through this. I will share when I'm done with this. I'm going to go through this on the app with you. Or if you want, you can put in the chat what you'd like to build, and then we take one of your projects as a sample project, which is actually even more fun, and do this together, and I'll give you instructions how to build it. Yes, Supabase is the database. All the tables, all the relationships between the entries in your tables are determined in Supabase, and Bolt is the raw app. Okay, so you start prompting ChatGPT, write me all the prompts that I need for Supabase, and then you copy paste this over, and then you ask ChatGPT, give me the Bolt prompt. Because if you start in Bolt without having anything else to burn already token, we have to be careful with the 3 million token that we have for free every day. We don't want to burn them right away. So if we go right away and say, build me something, you realize you need to correct it all the time. And you don't have to do this. You can basically prepare everything before you start building. And Bolt and Supabase are connected. That's the beauty. In Bolt directly, you can link to the Supabase project that you have created. Okay. And again, if you have already an idea, we will do this together. So now it's theory, and it will become clear when we do it together. If you have already an idea what you'd like to build, throw it in the chat and I will pick one, and then you will actually do this and all of you will be watching, and then we will learn. Okay, great, Ankit. Post your idea. We'll come to this later. And then when you've created in Bolt, there's an app in Bolt where you can actually click directly connect to Supabase, and then you have to give him the Supabase credentials, and when you have the project already in Supabase, it knows exactly what to build. Okay, and then you deploy. And that's it. And when you've deployed, you go back to ChatGPT and said, make me a logo, make me a key visual, make me a pitch line. All the graphics for this launch everyday campaign have been developed in ChatGPT. I have to say all the text, the pitch, the deck and stuff is from me. I like writing. I have a good relationship with language. I'm a speaker coach. I don't have to think a lot before I start writing. So the pitch line and all the social posts are from me, but actually you can delegate this all to ChatGPT because in the same thread, ChatGPT knows the product really well because it has built it together with you. So that's super cool. And that vibe coding 101 order, in that order, is basically what you need to do. Okay, we come back to this. First of all, did you all register at the app? And that's .me or .jury. Doesn't make too much of a difference because I think I've changed it so you can add the sign up. So if you're a jury member, it's /jury, and if you're not a jury member, it's /me. Join Launch Every Day, create your account, and then you will receive an email, and that email you have to confirm. That's it. And then you should actually be able to access your app. And you need this because you will upload your project here. Okay, please tell me anyone here in the room who has not done this yet. And I'm giving us a quick break. Wolfgang hasn't done it yet. Wolfgang is stuck.
I had an issue with the password.
Did you solve it?
No. It says that I had already signed up.
Well, you can go back there now and you can click forgot my password and then you can create a new password.
There wasn't that option.
I know. After you
Okay,
told
now
me
it is.
that you're
Okay.
stuck, I've changed that.
Okay, great.
Okay. So I would say I go through this and then we'll see where we are in one-on-ones to solve individual issues because some of them I will do after the session in a really one-on-one and some of them are relevant for more people. But let me just go through this real quick and then we will start building together. Okay. So first of all, you create your app, iscy.com/me, and then you have your account there. Okay. And I see these arrows. I will go to this. And then this is basically the interface, how you build. You put a prompt in ChatGPT, you know how ChatGPT works. Supabase looks almost like the same. You have a window where you put in the prompt, what it builds for you, and Supabase, sorry, Bolt is this, and Supabase is where you connect the database. And this is when you have your app when you have your account registered. This is how you can see you have resources where you will have already a jury introduction, and then you will have the slides, and then you will have a recording of the session that you can revisit the whole week, and then you upload your project with a title, with a short description, with 3 screenshots. If you want to make a screen recording of the flow, you can upload this here, and ideally you put your deployed URL so we can actually, from the jury, we can check it out how it's working. And then you submit, and that's it. And then you can do 1 per day. Once it's submitted, that's for today. You can prepare 5 on one day and then just wait for the next 4 days to submit them, but you can only submit 1 per day. And then we have an amazing jury, and that's really cool. Some of the jury members are in the room. I'm very proud of my sister who's supporting almost everything I'm doing, but she's also an epic woman, a powerhouse, a renowned journalist and author, and she's just amazing. She will look into your projects. And then we have Andrea, who I met in a TEDx event, and then she joined the Silicon Valley tour, and we became friends. And you will really love this woman. Aneta is also with us, and I think Aneta is even in the room here. She is the co-founder of Moonshot Pirates. Most of you probably know Aneta because I know there are a lot of Moonshot Pirates in this program. The initiative I started with TED 16 years ago, and I thought this is a big chapter in my life. The second initiative after TED where I had the exact same feeling is Moonshot Pirates. And I'm supporting them when I can. And I'm so happy that so many of you are part of this program. And I'm really excited. So the bar is high because Moonshot Pirates usually come up with really, really cool projects and ideas. And then we have Luan. Luan, I also worked with a TEDx event She lives in San Francisco. She's a Silicon Valley legend. She's been working with Virgin and with Google, and she's a brand marketer, and she's smart and she's fast and she connects things. She's street smart. She's educated. Really, really cool. And I see the Be a Pirate hashtags here. Give me more of them. You pirates rock. Adam Coppert is a creative storyteller who's responsible for the narrative of OpenAI. What do we say about ChatGPT? He got into the company with the task to determine the narrative of what is it as if ChatGPT is a brand, what is that brand? So he's a marketing expert and a really cool guy. Avi Lifshitz is a dear friend, lives in Vienna. He is the CEO of the largest innovation hub in Austria called Accelerate, probably also one of the most significant in Europe. He's been a founder. He's 18 years of experience in starting businesses and empowering entrepreneurs and founders. He exited, he knows what works, he knows also things that don't work. A great guy to learn from and to work with and to look into your projects. A few weeks ago, I was at an event from where someone from Silicon Valley presented the Silicon Valley mindset, and I met Bastian, and I had a 5 minutes conversation with Bastian. And Bastian is also in the room now. I know this. I can see him here in the participant section. And I really enjoyed that conversation. I said, "Hey, would you like to be part of this?" So we don't know each other a lot, but I know already so much. This guy is amazing and is fast and has seen things working and is a great mentor and is a great jury member. And when he says this is a cool project, this is probably really a high potential project. And then we have three more. Mario, a serial entrepreneur and a VC, and someone who knows in Europe how to build things, and also a dear friend. And I'm excited. He was the first one who said, "Hey, I want to be part of the jury. I want to join." And just imagine seven projects for 7 days for 25 participants. That adds up a lot. So people who said yes to I'm being part of the jury really committed to also doing the hard work and putting the skin in the game. And I'm excited for Mario to be part of this. And then Paul is a transformation leader in biotech. He's with Roche, the biomed company, the pharmaceutical company. And he also participated at the Silicon Valley tour, and we've been in touch since. He's a very analytical observer who does not get distracted by the fuss, which I really appreciate and enjoy. He's very straight to the point, what works and what does not work, and does not detour. So very helpful to see his feedback on the projects. And last but not least, a very dear friend and Austrian co-founder, serial entrepreneur, AI builder. Candy Cat is his company where he consults founders on their path to success. He's a passionate vibe coder. He was launching I don't know how many products since vibe coding started and put them on LinkedIn. It's a fun guy to follow, a great guy to interact, a dear friend and an epic human. And I'm really excited to also have him in the jury. The jury basically sees your projects like what you uploaded, and then they rate it. And basically there are just 4 parameters where they give a 5-star rating, which adds up to a score. And that's it. I don't know if you can read it. It's innovative, it's fun, it's surprising, and it's useful. And with this information, as you see, it doesn't have to be fully functional yet. So no worries if it's not perfect. You just shoot it out there and we get a feeling if that works.